Hey, welcome back to House O Heather. Wanted to create this video to show a review of the new Hipdot and KORN collaboration, this new eyeshadow palette. And for anybody interested in metal, I wanted to kind of give a quick review or thoughts on some new metal music that came out last week. And yeah, so also quick shout out to the new subscribers. Thank you so much for subscribing. I hope that this video and all future videos are of some value to you. So anyway, let's dive in. Okay guys, so I know this is kind of late to the party as far as reviews, but my husband surprised me with the Hipdot eyeshadow and collab with KORN, and this is actually sold out the last I checked, so I know my husband paid a pretty penny. I had no idea this wasn't even on my radar, like at all. Like my last video with my Project Pan video, my makeup collection, like I wasn't thinking I was gonna get it just because it was sold out, and I was a little relieved for that because I was like, do I need another eyeshadow palette? But I am pleasantly happy with this. I have not tried it yet, so this is gonna be like fresh. No, except for maybe doing swatches, this is gonna be a complete new thought process. So the reason why I wanted to do a review on this palette was so it's funny because when my husband introduced me to the palette, you know, I was curious. Even though it was sold out, I wanted to see how it did. You know, KORN is a staple like band in our house, this staple music. And so there was a couple, at the time there wasn't that many reviews. I don't know if there's more out now, but there was like two I watched, complete ends of the spectrum. So like one good one that I watched was Rachel Palmieri. She did a fantastic review, not just on the KORN one, but the Evanescence one. And I thought she did a great job of showcasing the shadows and stuff like that. But then on the other hand, I saw, I think it was like a short, I don't know who it was, but I was very, how do I say this gently? I felt like the review wasn't completely fair. It felt very rushed. It felt very, like the person didn't take a lot of time to finesse the makeup, you know, didn't take a lot of time to explain the substance of the palette, basically. But anyway, I'm hoping that, not that I'm so much better or that I'm so much better at makeup or anything like that, but now that I have the palette in my hand, I feel like and with my opinions on both of those videos, I feel like it's up to me to give another review and see which one of those reviews are more to my experience, you know, which one can I really relate to more. So we'll see, is it absolute trash like the short review was kind of alluding to, or is it a good palette that, you know, didn't quite, you know, didn't disappoint or anything like that. Okay, so this case, or this palette, sorry, comes in this cool like protective sleeve, really nice. It's like a CD case. I'm sure you guys have already seen that. Pretty cool. I was a little nervous about that because I was like, like, I don't know about you guys, but I cracked a lot of my CD cases growing up. But anyway, it comes with this cool, what do they call it? Sleeve? Pamphlet? I don't know the correct term, but looks just like the real thing. Like, pretty impressive. But let me get a closer look at the shadows. I love this color story. When my husband showed me the online what it looked like, I was like, oh, that's up my alley. especially because I got rid of, I decluttered a shadow just like this, and I did it with a heavy heart, but I did it because it was old, so now I got a really cool new one to replace it. But it's pretty cool. I know Rachel Palmieri mentioned that she doesn't really mess around with these pressed glitters, so I'm actually going to do a look today that's going to incorporate this one called Pretty. It's a silver pressed glitter. I'm also kind of tempted to do this one. This one's called I'm sorry, I can't read. The camera's got it backwards. Dead Bodies Everywhere. We'll see where I go, but do you see that cool embossment, like for Freak on a Leash? Like, I'm like, so I never thought I would, how do I say this, have a palette that I didn't want to like really touch, because it's, I don't know if they're gonna, I doubt they're gonna make this a stable one. And it's already sold out, and my husband, like I said, he paid a pretty penny for this. I think he paid probably like double or triple the retail price on this on hipdot.com. So I feel an obligation to keep it in nice shape. But I also would be remiss, is that the right word? Remiss? To not use it. I would, I'm sure I'm using that out of context, but I would be in the wrong. I think I would be sad and disappointed in myself for not using such a beautiful color story. And this is my first Hipdot palette. So, okay guys, so I already prepped my face. I put my foundation, my concealer. I know I got a lot of bumps, raised bumps and stuff like that, so I apologize, but this is a lot better than it would have been had I not prepped my face. I'll just tell you that right now. So I usually don't do that. I usually start with my eyeshadow first, but I wanted to save you guys the trouble of having to look at my rosacea and hormonal acne from my pregnancy. So let's see. Usually I use my Anastasia brush because it's a really good panning brush, but I'm not trying to pan this. I'm actually trying to respect it. So I'm going to use my Laura Geller all over eyeshadow brush. So let's see, I'm gonna go in with this color. It's called oh my god, sorry, Children of the Corn. This lighter like brow bone color. So I'm gonna go ahead and just, I mean, it looks the same, I know, but I wanted to kind of see what this was gonna look like. Just give it a good, and I'm doing this in the camera, which I should set up my, hang on. Okay, so I have my mirror set up so I can kind of see better. So I won't be looking at you guys, I'll be looking over here. But yes, so Children of the Corn, just gonna kind of do a quick little, you know, brow bone action. All right, so next, I am gonna do a transition shade. I'm gonna use this brown. It's on. By the way, I'm sure I didn't mention this. I'm gonna do like a smoky eye to the best of my ability. Like I mentioned, I'm not that great at makeup, but here we go. So I'm just gonna do that. I am so impressed with KORN for still going strong with their music. I mean, they have gone through such a journey with their music and their band, and it just, my husband really, I mean, I liked KORN before we got together. By the way, my husband is the real metalhead in this house. He just kind of takes me for the ride because I enjoy the music too. But if it wasn't for him, I'd still be listening to like really old stuff, because I'm an old soul, and he's got more of a, how do I say this in a nice way? He has a younger soul. He's got one of a child, just fun and all that good stuff. But anyway, he keeps me in the loop on the music, and I think that honestly this palette is long. Sorry guys, camera or phone ran out of storage. As I was saying, this palette is long overdue. Whether it was Hipdot or somebody else, like honestly, KORN deserves more recognition in the beauty space. You know, I could always use some more metal bands, but anyway, so far so good with this palette. I like how smooth it's going. Is this gonna work? Sorry, I keep running out of storage. So basically what I was gonna say was that this so far so good with this eyeshadow. Sorry, I know it looks really washed out because of my ring light. Let's see if I can sorry guys for doing this the non-professional way. Anyway, so I'm liking it so far. Seems really smooth. I like most mattes, or like just most shadows anyway, you kind of have to build it up a little bit. It's hard to do in the camera too. I swear it looks a lot better in person than it does in this lighting or on the camera. But anyway, okay, so I'm gonna move on. All right, I'm gonna dip into the embossment Freak on a Leash. That's this really cool one right here. It's just that deep black. You kind of go off to the side a little bit. Okay, so I keep going to the camera, guys. It's like I have the mirror right here. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna switch my brush for this one. I will go in with that Anastasia one, but I'm not gonna use the that rough end. Oh, where'd you go? Okay, so I'm gonna go with the more flat looking one. So, and forgive me, I'm not used to doing my makeup still in front of the camera. Just gonna pat this on because I feel like, I mean, it doesn't have too much fallout. It's not that bad. So far I have like barely any fallout. And I actually haven't felt the need to tap my brush a whole lot, so. But I'm gonna pat it on. It seems like a pretty smooth formula. Doesn't seem too patchy. I went ahead and just did the rest of the makeup. My phone kept alerting me that I have no more space on my phone. I had to delete a bunch of stuff to get on there. I really do need to go through my photos though. But anyway, this is, well, not the final look. I still need to do lashes, but I went in and I feel like it still doesn't do it justice, but also I'm not that great at makeup, like I said. So, I just did the brown, it's on, and then the black Freak on a Leash, and then I went ahead and used the pressed glitter on my lid. That one was called Pretty, and went on the bottom lash with Freak on a Leash, and then in the inner corner. And again, this lighting, my setup doesn't do it justice, but I went in with the shade, it's like that duochrome, it's called My Gift to You. That one right there. I went in the corner with it. I don't know if you guys can get a glimpse of it, but I will say that these shadows are really soft, including the pressed glitter. Like it's nice and stick. It sticks well. I don't want to say it's nice and sticky, but it sticks well enough where I didn't need anything. It didn't need any assistance. I'm really impressed. I'm gonna go ahead and put my lashes on for like the full effect. You probably noticed from my the jump, that I didn't have blush or anything on. I just did that too because I was just getting frustrated. But I wish you could have seen how I applied it. It went on really, like, honestly, really well. Like, same thing, hardly any, even with the pressed glitter, hardly any fallout. So let me get those lashes and my lips on, and then I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. So I put my lashes on haphazardly. My lipstick. I'm just using an old Mellow Cosmetics bullet lipstick in the shade of nude, with using the Buxom lip liner, Hush Hush Henna, and then I just put some eyeliner in my waterline. I think it looks a lot better with, I mean, smoky eyes, you generally just look a lot better with eyelashes, but this is the look. I have no complaints about this palette. I forget any bias that I might, so I say it, bias I may have regarding KORN. I'm glad that Hipdot gave it a good formula, a good color story that really matched the cover, the album cover. If you're able to get your hands on it, I highly do recommend it. Am I suggesting you spend double, triple the retail price? No, I'm not advocating for that. I was actually a little tiny, like, babe, why did you do that? But I'm happy he did. I love the palette. I never thought I'd have a collection piece. I was kind of not hated, but I was always kind of like roll my eyes when people would say they have a collection palette or something they're just keeping for, like, you know, memories or whatever, you know, to each their own, whatever. I'm not trying to be judgmental or whatever, but it just never seemed like something I would do. This palette, I think I'm going to try to find a balance where I'm going to respect it and try to keep it in good shape, but also pull it out and do use it, because it is a nice formula. I do, you know, like I said, no complaints. I do like those pressed glitters. I mess with them, you know. Knock on wood, I haven't had any issues with pressed glitters yet. But then again, I don't have that long of a history with makeup, so there's that also. In other news, so for those, like I said, interested in metal music, this last week my husband showed me the new so three metal bands. Suicidesilence came out with their new album, and that album was called You Must Die, and I know it's like totally metal, right? They brought it. It was heavy in all the right ways. I mean, not that being heavy could be in the wrong way, but my husband told me that he was watching an interview with them, and they said they just went into the recording studio with the saying HAP, which is heavy as possible. If you are, I mean, these bands are for those who are really into like heavy metal, but like Suicidesilence, they killed it. I highly recommend that album. I think that if you ever had any doubts with them ever since they released their second self-titled album, Suicidesilence, because they incorporated, you know, new singing style and stuff like that, which I love that album, but there was a lot of complaints. This new album, hi Jean, this new album really showcases their usual, I don't want to say usual, like that's bad, but like their usual style, but also more than that, they brought it. They you thought they're gonna get any heavier, they went there. They got heavier. The next band is chelseagrin, and it was actually a two-parter, so they had one half of the so it's two albums, basically 8 songs on each, and one of them is Suffer in Hell and the other one's Suffer in Heaven. And it's like kind of like the Nelly Sweatsuit. So you put the album covers together. I'll put it right here. You put them together and it's like one beautiful art piece, the covers. But they're both in that they're both heavy, and chelseagrin brought it, and they Jean, please. But they incorporated different kind of styles. So like especially in Suffer in Heaven, which was the 2023 release, and then Suffer in Hell was last year's release, and that in Suffer in Heaven, Jeannie, they essentially incorporated, I don't know if they meant to, if it was subconscious or it was intentional, but they brought in, you know, styles that sounded a lot like KORN effects and a lot like Suicidesilence. And my husband did mention that they did tour with KORN effects, so maybe that had part of it, but I loved it. I mean, they incorporated it with still being able to sound like themselves. So I don't know what the thought process was behind these two albums, but I love it, and I think it was creative, and me and my husband were not disappointed at all. So those are definitely worth checking out. And then lastly, there was Gideon. Gideon came out with their new song, More Power, More, hang on, More Power, More Pain. Sorry. Pregnancy brain. I'm having a hard time remembering things that are supposed to be super easy to remember. But they basically, in my opinion, carried on a lot of their surprising style from their last albums. You kind of see this gritty side of them, this kind of angsty, angry side. Although the whole album isn't all anger and fury. There's some songs you can tell is about loss and you know, just kind of trying to be your own person and stuff like that. And I did a little reading this morning on them, and they started out as like a Christian metal band, and I guess they kind of like abandoned that and may have abandoned their faith on that. And it makes me a little sad because I am a Catholic and not a very good one, but I am one, and it just made me a little sad. But I understand, like, sometimes people, you know, everybody's got their stage in life where they kind of venture off and trying to find themselves and come to their own convictions. So I mean, me personally, I'm hoping they kind of maybe go back to some of those roots if they're so compelled, if they feel that personally. But overall, I'm not one to hate on an angsty album or like anybody that's trying to vent those feelings that they've been through. Actually, so mentioning all these new albums, and even with KORN, in the spirit of KORN, like there's a lot of, you know, KORN comes off same thing, gritty and just kind of, you know, funky and you know, unorthodox and not traditional. And sorry, that was a same word synonym, but if you look at their lyrics, I mean, it's very human. There's that struggle, there's that trauma that they're trying to address, and I think that lays throughout these albums. I don't know so much about Chelsea's Grin's journey on making their new two albums, but I will say that I think that just like the album titles, you know, Suffer in Heaven, Suffer in Hell, like all this stuff, like it's really hit home for me. I was meaning to do this video last week because but I didn't because my family suffered a loss last Tuesday, so it's been a week, and it wasn't we've had great losses in our family, including my mother, in the past like decade, 2 decades actually. We've lost a lot of members, but this one was it brought a lot of emotions, like a lot of some that you're not expecting, like not just sadness, but like anger and confusion and suspicion and just a lot of contention. And I think that these albums make you think of, you know, an afterlife and, you know, betrayal and just very human subjects, you know, human, I don't know if that makes sense, but just very sensitive subject matter. And it just kind of for whoever's listening, we gotten this far, thank you. Now I'm kind of gonna go on a little bit of a rant here. Last night I had couple crazy dreams, and it made me, and with everything going on family wise, and then music, and then doing this review and stuff, it made me want to reach out to you guys, my subscribers, or whoever else is viewing this, and just wanted to reach out on like a spiritual level. And just, if you have anything, I mean, you can comment about any of this. If you're a metalhead, like, go ahead and comment about the music. If you're here for the makeup, you're here for Hipdot or whatever, please comment. Like, this doesn't have to be so heavy, but if you are hurting right now and you're watching this video and you're, I don't know if you're like me, where you're just carrying a lot of emotions lately. And I know I'm pregnant, so that there's that, but like also just like you have a lot of anger, a lot of sadness, a lot of trauma. If you're dealing with a loss, you know, confusion, if you're just in a hard spot in your life, like period, I don't care if you're Catholic or, you know, Protestant or a non-believer, like I don't care who you are, like if there's something that you want prayer on, like I know if you're like a non-believer, you're probably like, whatever, I don't need that, but like I want this channel to also be a place like this. In this house, we listen to metal, we, you know, we do makeup, but we also pray. So like I wanted to extend prayer to whoever's watching this, whoever's gotten this far, whoever cares. If you need prayer in anything, comment below. Like honestly, like it is, you don't have to get into great detail or whatever, but just I would like to pray for you. I would like to add you to my prayers, because I've been praying a lot lately. So sorry, I'm like getting emotional, but baby, please don't. Yeah, just, you know, put it down there. You can be super vague. Just, you know, pray for me. I mean, you can just say that, and that's all you have to do. You don't even have to give your name or whatever, but I just wanted to extend that out to whoever's listening. And just thank you to bands and creators out there that kind of give an outlet to other people to express and feel their emotions in a healthy ways. So you know, makeup and music being some of that, and then obviously for me personally, God being a relief and a place, a safe haven. So, but anyway, sorry, I'm getting on like that deep side, but I just wanted, whoever you are, thank you so much for watching this. I know this was kind of a shoddy like review, but I think it was a little better than one of the shorts I watched. I agree with Rachel Palmieri. It's a good palette. It's this was my first time using it, so I can't say it's like my absolute favorite, but thus far it's great. So anyway, all right, I'll let you guys go. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks. Bye.
Thanks for watching.